Vadodara Pratavoyantu Vishwata. Om Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. Distinguished representatives of different religions, distinguished audience and friends. For more than 2 hours and a half, I listened attentively to the sincere speeches made by different speakers. I have attended many interfaith meetings in India and outside, and I will certainly say that today's experience of mine, well, I shall remember for long, one of the best I will say, and for that I congratulate the organizer, Vivekananda, and also Ramakrishna, and also the speakers. Now, if I am to sum up the speeches of all the speakers, only one word I think I can mention. Everyone emphasized on harmony. Keeping that spirit, I must also keep harmony with the time. See, it is about 9 already. So I am not going to make a speech. I shall make a few short observations. First of all, whenever we meet in interfaith dialogue, I have observed that everyone tries to defend the particular faith which he represents. And during this type of discussions, usually we don't open our heart, we don't speak, and we don't understand as much as is expected of us. So I do remember one meeting the famous philosopher, Dr. G. M. Maharaj, said that, but to make interfaith dialogue successful, the emphasis on communication in a suitable way. And he said that the principle of understanding, whenever we speak a little freely, then we can understand each other better. That is something important to consider. Again, I feel that we discussed a lot about interfaith dialogue, interfaith meet, etc. But I think much more emphasis should be given on intrafaith. Because in every major religion, because of religion, there are groups, subgroups, so many divisions. Recently I was reading a book on Protestantism in America. We don't believe that there are as many as 994 groups, and they can be closed under 12 categories. So, if you look at Hinduism, if you look at Islam, every such religion, major religions, has so many groups and there are so many conflicting ideas. That should be taken into consideration. That is a very important point. Third, very important point that I would like to mention that India, as we see today, I completed my school education in British India, and I have dreamt of India. As I could understand Swami Vivekananda in those days, I do remember I heard a speech of Gandhi, very close to him. I was standing and he gave a speech that impressed me so much. And before that, I read Vivekananda, and still I am witness, I can understand. But I had a vision of a greater area where we have very long progress. But at the same time, if you look into this particular problem, the relationship between state First of all, this concept of secular has been introduced. First of all, the meaning is constitution and internal research, the amendment that we talked about. It has created so much of confusion, and those who are interested in value education, they know how difficult it is to have a definite kind of exam. If you study the reports of different commissions and committees on value education, starting from the first one, Ramakrishna tradition in 49, after independence, right after the 1986 statement, and actually the last and important document after Ramakrishna recommendations. Everywhere you find that there are so many interesting recommendations, but there is already a shoot about the trust that has been given in earlier recommendations than to what they finally recommended. Much more important than this, in all these commissions, the recommendations have been made, and most of them, if I am allowed to say, 95% of them have not been implemented. This is one of the reasons, why there is so much of problem in India. Young people, and nowadays the families have become nuclear families. So the value they used to pick up the growing children in a joint family has something, but nowadays parents they are usually very busy. Even if they are not busy, they are very careful in handling a particular son or daughter they have. And these days, girls, they are more sensitive than others. So they, even if they see something, they don't try to help the child as they would have liked to. In this context, it is very important for us to consider when we discuss interfaith need or intrafaith need, the problems that come in the context of the society and the state. And this particular day, the 11th of September, as Swami Prabhanandaji explained the beginning, it has gained its importance. One will wish that in every such meeting, if we discuss the first and the last speech of Swami Vivekananda during the Parliament of Religions, I tell you there are three important books, voluminous books, on the history of the Parliament of Religion 1893. One is in 2 volumes, and other is in all the big volumes. But in all the volumes, it has been categorically mentioned that Swami Vivekananda practically represented the spirit of the Parliament of Religion. The last speech is very important. Though not mentioned categorically, but the ideas the speakers have, placed before us are pretty much related to that. I will not take any further time, but only one point I would like to tell you. The word harmony and the concept of harmony of religions as Swami Vivekananda tried to place before the Parliament of Religion, and as we find from the life and teachings of Ramakrishna, need to be studied a little more carefully. They are often wrongly presented. Ramakrishna never said all religions are the same altogether. Never. He said that each is a valid path, and any if sincerely followed will take to the highest fulfillment that a worshipper or a devotee expects. This is something very important. Another very important point he has mentioned, he says that Ishtanishtha. You must stick to your own religion, you must stick to your own faith, and whatever religious instruction you receive from your Guru, stick to it. Do it sincerely. At the same time, he said that Sarva which is very much propagated when we discuss down these teachings. He said that at the societal level, Ramakrishna says, Vivekananda Goswami, a very famous religious leader of those days, and he was a Dhamma leader at that time, he said that, well, when you meet people outside your Samaj, Brahma Samaj, means with them free. Treat them as your own. And don't harbor any kind of malice towards any of them. At the same time, don't give up your own faith and practice it sincerely. This is one point, and the last point that I would like to refer to. Now, this is something that is honored as the last teaching of Holy Mother, Sri Sarvabhauma. Now, that teaching, famous teaching can be divided in two parts. I am going to mention the last part only of the two parts. There she says, don't treat people as others. Treat everyone as your own. This is something very, very important. We have divided the world as ours and others. And most of the conflicts and confusion is because of this attitude. Sometimes we include some more persons within the fold of ours and exclude the remaining one. But always there is this difference. Is that, as has been mentioned repeatedly by several persons, if we can accept that all are children of God, or the same self, the same soul, or the same spirit is in everyone, in whatever way you look at it, you will find that every religion mentions on this particular issue. So, if we pay attention to this, then I think many of the problems will be solved out. And when we meet in interfaith discussions, etc., as I mentioned, today I want to speak up very emphatically. Let us be faithful, let us be sincere when we discuss. And not only that, let us try to spread that message in our practical life so that others can learn from us, or we can communicate to others, to our own society, to our own community, so that the fundamental truth spread. We have to solve this particular problem of religious conflict. India maintained a wonderful record, which was first mentioned in 1820 by Vincent Smith, the British historian, that such a wonderful record cannot be seen in any other country, in any other society. Unfortunately, during the last 200 years, that cropped up a problem of religious conflict. Those of you who are interested, please read the historian Karakar's book, Freedom Movement. And there you will see how the British government maintained their policy. And there are several letters mentioned in his book. There you will find how we have been trapped in that into a particular issue of the British government. And still we are suffering from that. So we have to fight ourselves. And for that, harmony of religion, as has been emphasized by practically all the religious leaders all over the world, has to be emphasized and should be practiced. Many, many thanks for giving me an opportunity to share with all of you. And I shall